Hi, and welcome to this concept searching demo on demand on compliance, remediation, workflow quarantine. So what are our business problems? Once we've used concept searching to find our sensitive data, what do? Well, naturally, we want to do something about that. We want to automate this process so that we don't have to sift through massive amounts of reports and find the data and manually do something with it. So concept searching has a product, conceptTaxonomyWorkflow, which is an automatic remediation tool based on classifications. So if we find sensitive data, we can do something with it automatically. What types of remediation are possible? Well, out of the box, we can copy, move, quarantine, secure, delete, and even redact content. If a special workflow or automation is required, we can also build those as a time and materials project. And we have done many of those. But most of these are very easy to implement, and I'll show you that just in a minute. Let's go over to our demo. So here we have concept searching, and I've found some sensitive data here. I've got some social security numbers under my PII that I want to remediate. I want to do something. Let's put those into a quarantine folder. So how do we do that? Well, first we have to have the workflow piece enabled. We choose workflows, and we add a new workflow. I'm going to call this quarantine social security number. And I'm going to use a file type one. You can, of course, do these in other systems like SharePoint and SQL, but I'm going to do it on the file share. My file share source is going to be this Cadmus folder that I have here. And I will add that. And I need to, first of all, add some conditions to this. We'll notice also that it's disabled at this point, but I'm going to add a condition here, and I say if this is some sensitive data here, it was in PII, and it was social security numbers. If it's a social security number, I'm going to do something with it. So it needs to be classified. It needs to be matched as a social security number. Then I can add an action to that. So everything that's being classified now as a social security number, I want to do something with it. I can reclassify it. I can email an alert to someone, hey, there's some security issues here, go and have a look. Or I can change the permissions on this. But what I really want to do is just to migrate this to a file system. Of course, I can do both of those things if I want to. I got to choose my migration destination. I'm just going to throw it into test docs for this demo. And then decide what I want to do. I probably want to change the name of this so that I know that it's been quarantined. I could put a number on it, or just put on the date. This is my preferred thing, because now I know when that's been moved. I can maintain the folder structure, and I can even delete the original item. So now that social security numbers will be removed from the original place, put into this special secure quarantine folder, and I won't have to worry about it. I can also redact this social security number if I want. So I could just write over that social security number within the document if I wanted to leave it in context. But I'm not going to do that for now. I save that, and then when I run the workflow, I'm not going to do that for this demo, but once I run the workflow, it will automatically move that document to that test document section. And remember, if you're using this, remember to enable it, or it's not going to run. So what products do I need in order to do this? Well, we need to use our redaction capabilities if we're going to redact. It's an optional component. But for any kind of other remediation, you just need the conceptTaxonomyWorkflow product, which is an add-on to our conceptClassifier platform. Of course, in order to do the classifications and find the sensitive data, you do need the conceptClassifier platform. And what are our benefits? Well, we can first of all identify sensitive content with conceptClassifier, and then we can act on it. And that's an extremely powerful step where we don't have to worry about going through reports and manually going through and looking for this content again. We can just immediately have the system act on that. The advantage of putting it into a quarantine is that we're not trusting the system to automatically delete things. You may get to that point where you want to just trust it just to delete stuff that you don't want or redact it. But maybe in the beginning, you want to just be able to quarantine that content, have a look at it, go through an approval process, and then get rid of it. It's very good to quarantine any kind of suspicious content to make sure that your end users are not going to get their hands on it, even if it is not that serious. You want to look at it, and then modify the rules to make sure that that it is being dealt with properly. You can, of course, as I mentioned, delete sensitive data, documents, change permissions, and even redact content in the document. This is especially helpful when there's content that is important to keep, but there's just some errant information in that content that we don't want to have, like PII and things like that. But the rest of the document is important for us to hold on to. So that's it. Thank you very much for attending our demo on demand.